48 hours, and because the electric cell is not working, and the the main lines coming from Israel also is cut off. So we are totally dependent on the generators, and these generators are consuming a lot, big amount of diesel. And not only that, in case of any one of them damaged and stopped, this real crime, I consider it the direct bombardment to the hospital. So we have at least 27 person in the intensive care unit. We have 30 kids in the premature babies, and we have 12 operating rooms. So we have a lot of badly injured people. All of them will die immediately if the electricity cut off.
Dr. Khalaf, unfortunately, we've seen the situation before here where electricity hasn't been enough, and you've been telling us that nurses have to manually pump oxygen to the patients. Now, right now, there simply can't be enough staff to pump oxygen to everyone who needs it. So what are you going to do?
Well, with this overwhelming number of injuries, so nobody can predict. This Israeli madness can do anything. But we people have very high morale. We insist to help our people by all means, whether manually, even with that, in the operating rooms. They are doing 2 surgeries in the same room because of the overwhelming number. One with the ventilator and the other with ambu bag, but manual ventilation.
This hospital has been under siege for 1 week. We have had constant inflow of patients, and we have been running out of vital drugs and spare parts for a long time. But last night, when the invasion started, the whole thing escalated. So this night, this hospital has been filled up with patients. It started with the bombing of the mosque in Shabalia camp. This morning, they bombed the fruit market, and there were a large number of casualties and dead people. And this hospital was then turned into some kind of field hospital. This morning we operated 2 patients in each OR. We operated people in the corridors. We had people waiting for surgery, lying around in the corridors of the hospital, and they were dying before we could come to them. We saw some terrible scenes. There were a lot of stories that really hit me in the heart. For example, 2 boys, they were not allowed to play in the street because of the danger, so they played on the roof of their home, and they were hit by shrapnels. One boy died due to enormous injuries to the chest. The other boy will probably survive, but he lost a leg and has a serious head injury.
All pretty awful stories, Shireen. I guess there, as much as anywhere else, there must be particular hollowness at the lack of international reaction to what's been going on.
Absolutely. People here are angry. They're telling us, where is the international community? I'm not sure if you just saw what happened there, but that was just an electricity cutout. You can only imagine what something like that would do to people here, would do to the families when they see electricity cutting out and they have to scramble to the doctors and tell them that some of the machinery is being cut off. And that's the problem. We are now running on generators for 48 hours. And as you heard Dr. Khalaf say to me there in that soundbite, that this is becoming a massacre if the supplies aren't let in and normal work isn't resumed. Now, of course, we were in the intensive care unit earlier in the day, and it's really difficult to believe that this is Gaza's main hospital, the biggest hospital, and the one which they triumph as the one with the most advanced, if you like, technically advanced. Now, it's difficult to believe that that is the state that we're seeing now, because what we're looking at is what looks like a clinic in the middle of a war zone. It is inundated with people. It is not half enough supplies to be able to cope with the number of casualties that they are seeing coming and going now for the past few days.
And what about the walking wounded, those that aren't actually being treated within the hospital?
We've seen many people leaving the hospital with still injuries to the head, to their legs, with still shrapnel injuries. And when we ask them where they're going, they say that because they're not in a critical situation, they've been turned away and they've had to go back home, where they've been told to sit tight simply because there aren't enough beds here to treat everyone. And that is another serious problem that they're having, is that they can only treat the very critical of those that are injured. And of course, there are hundreds more that need help.
All right, Shireen, thanks very much indeed. Shireen.